and bring you up. There we go. Okay. So that's perfect. So you should all be able to. Oh, I'm seeing stuff. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. I'm all yours now. I've got a hunt. No, we're missing Mary. We're missing Mary's face. There we go. I do. Thinking something's not right. Brady Bunch is back. Okay. And I'm going to, oh, Danielle, you're on it. You got the record button happening. Okay, that's great. So, Samantha, I'm going to turn it over to you because you probably know this really well. You've probably been working this since we talked last. So,
yeah, it's been a while. We have a few updates. Danielle and Mary, just so that I understand from your perspective, like, have you guys discussed the agency package at all, or do you want me to start like pretty much from the beginning, so like from scratch, or?
I would prefer if you start from scratch because, to be honest with you, when you tried to speak to me last time, I really didn't have the time to speak to you, and I had a bunch of stuff going on. So even if I did relay to them what was it, I am sure I didn't relay it properly. Also, I don't think you're ready, right? So now you're ready. So let's hear what you have to say. Just go from the start. You got 100% of our attention.
Yeah, so we have been working for a really long time to figure out how we can align better with event agencies, not only to, ensure that we're both growing, together. I think also just to help understand that, event agencies need a different package to our standard plans. Our standard plans are restrictive in certain ways. It's really hard to upgrade, downgrade. Various different features that we're looking to build out would only really apply to agencies. So Hoyan and I have been working for the last, I would say, like 8-9 months on figuring out how we can align better with all event agencies. So we started an event agency partner program. Essentially, it means that it's very different from our standard plans in terms of the way that we bill, in terms of the way that we work together. And so I was speaking to Sue about it, obviously a few months ago now, Sue. Before, I think you're one of the first people we ever pitched it to, especially to get feedback from being such a long-term user. And I think since then, it's been a number of months. We now have about 32 other agencies on the agency program already. And there seems to be some fairly decent alignment for now. We're still working out on how to continue to iterate the program as well. So it is ever evolving in a way because we just want to continuously make sure that we are both in as much alignment as possible, so that there's not conflict moving forward. So essentially the partnership works in a way where we will give agencies almost like a free demo account or a free number of credits to use in order to promote Remo. So there's no set monthly fee anymore. It's essentially just, here's a demo account, use it, however you would like in order to be able to promote the platform to your clients and be able to resell or sell it to your prospects and your clients. So that's number one. Number two is that, Sue, I know that you've been on the affiliate program for a really long time. There were, all of the kinks, all of the kinks because you were on it first. So you've seen how the program has been flawed from the start. So we have completely revamped that. We've invested in a new tool called PartnerStack, so we will no longer be using First Promoter moving forward for the agency program. We're currently in the process, I think we're about a week away from launching it, of setting up PartnerStack, and we've pretty much sorted out majority of the kinks where we know that it'll be very, very hard for something to be missed in terms of credit that should go to the agency and therefore commission that should go to the agency. So we've restructured that. So the commission is, the commission system is going to be set up very, very differently moving forward compared to the affiliate program. But essentially the way that the partnership works is that you get the free demo account to demo to your clients and prospects. And then if you decide to hold an event on your own plan, you would be billed at a attendee per day rate. So on the top tier of the program, it's 50 cents per attendee per day. So say you have an event with 500 people, the event would cost you $250. If you had an event with 1,000 people, it would cost you $500. If you had an event with 500 people over 2 days, it would cost you $500 because essentially you would be billed 50 cents per attendee per day times 2. So that is on the gold tier. On the silver tier, you're billed at $1.20 per attendee per day. And on the bronze tier, which Sue, you will never be on, so don't worry about that. But on the bronze tier, you'll be billed at $1.80 per attendee per day. So the way that you get assigned to the various different tiers depends on a number of things. One is obviously we're rewarding all of our long-term superpower users that have been with us for forever and ever and have lived through all of the kinks and everything. So pretty much all of the agencies that have joined have started on gold, and they've been given a head start period on the gold tier for about 6 months. And so that basically means that they can enjoy all of the top tier benefits, for 6 months without having to worry about anything at all. Essentially, the tiers are defined by a number of things. One being, obviously being a long-term user of Remo. The second thing is essentially how many licenses you're able to resell or how many people you're able to refer to Remo. So on the bronze tier, essentially it's a deal value of $500 per month. Which is essentially just one producer plan. So that one's pretty easy to reach. On the silver tier, it's $5,000 in monthly value. And so that's about a couple of boutique plans and then a couple of the smaller plans. And then on the top tier, it's about $20,000 in value. We do have some affiliates and some agencies that are in the $14,000 to $15,000 range. So that's how we came up with $20,000 being the kind of limit for the top tier, because we've seen people who have been able to reach somewhere close to that. So these kind of reference points have been based off the affiliate program and what people have been able to bring in that way. We will be making obviously exceptions and a lot of various different perks and benefits that we'll offer to long-term users, superpower users, as well as people who we believe have brought a lot to the community, continue to bring a lot to the community, and continuously are able to contribute to Remo in other ways as well that are maybe a little bit harder to quantify. So I spoke to Ian, I spoke to Alex Abel, I spoke to all of the guys in the community that have been around for a really long time, and that's kind of how we discussed how we can continue to make sure that the less quantifiable things are also accounted for as part of the program. But that's essentially how it is. So as an event agency, you will have the choice of either offering the client their own license. You will also be able to sign up for that client as well. So the client doesn't actually have to purchase on their own. You can purchase on behalf of them as well. And so essentially, if a client comes to you, which a lot of the time I know clients do, and they say like, hey, I don't care what platform, what tools, what vendors you use. You need to deal with everything from, top to toe, beginning to end. I don't care about that stuff. You sign up for everything and we'll just pay the service fee at the end, your one kind of big lump sum. So that's kind of how we've said it's totally fine if event agencies want to purchase a separate license. And that act of purchasing a separate license for your client will count towards that, monthly deal value that you bring in, even if it's not under that client's name. So say you created it under like Sue Sutcliffe 1 at SueSutcliffe.com or whatever, that will still count as your deal value that you've brought in because it's extra revenue for Remo that you've brought in. So that's kind of one change we've made recently. So the other changes, obviously at the beginning.
I'm not sure I'm understanding that last piece. So client comes to me, I sell them the package. I can sign up for them, and that of course would show as part of my MMR, but that I didn't get the next part.
The part where like essentially you would sign up under like your own email, like you wouldn't sign up under their email because they've basically told you like they don't want to deal with anything, right? So because otherwise they'd start receiving emails from us, the onboarding sequence, welcome to Remo, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't want your client to receive all of the communications that you get when you sign up for any license, or, the hassle of like the billing, the invoice, whatever, you just want to put your own billing details in because you know that they will pay you via another way later or whatever, then that's also totally fine. So Alex Abel's been doing that quite regularly already, where he's basically said, a lot of my clients don't want to deal with Remo. They don't even know that it is Remo. But, I understand that you guys need the revenue. And so therefore it's, we've basically said, yeah, it's totally fine. Just sign up with your own email and we'll count it.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
So that's one change we made. But as an event agency, essentially you have the choice of doing that or putting them on your own agency plan. So say, for example, on your agency plan, you have the flexibility of unlimited days, unlimited hours, unlimited, not unlimited, but 10-seat tables. So the package comes with 10-seat tables. So you're able to have slightly bigger tables. You're able to have the event, open for as long as possible, kind of like your studio plan, essentially. You're able to have more team members. So say, for example, if the person had the choice of purchasing a boutique plan or, going on your own plan, and you're like, hey, actually, I need the flexibility of the agency plan. And it just makes more sense for them to be on there so that we can have more team members, more, have the room open for 2 months straight if we needed to, blah, blah, blah. There you go. We also are training up the agencies to sell enterprise and to sell custom plans. So, there are a lot of events these days where it's, hey, I just need a one-off event and I need it for 3 days and I need 1,000 people. So we've trained agencies on how to give that quotation so that you're able to also sell larger packages than what's available on our website, and that will also count towards any revenue that you bring in for Remo. So there's actually a wider range of technically products or services that agencies can now sell, which is not available to obviously standard website self-serve people. So say, for example, Ian, who I'm sure you know really well from the UK, his clientele are very much enterprise. He's wanted to sell virtual offices for a really long time. And he was like, hey, can you teach me how to sell virtual offices? So we've developed a way to easily quote that, and we can sell these kind of custom virtual offices for any of your clients as well if they need them. And they come at a different price to what's listed on the website. So there are various different, products that we can also help you sell to your clients, which would hopefully make the sell a bit easier.
So those, I guess the value of those sales would equate to MMR just like the other stuff does. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
So everything would be, counted towards that credit. So those are kind of the few updates. We are in the process of automating the entire agency partner program as a product as well. So where you can easily just click and add, buy more attendee day credits, because it would work a bit more like a phone plan. So after your free days that we give you run out, the free days being the demo days that you're given, that you're allotted every month. If you wanted to purchase guest days to use for your for an actual event that you were going to hold on your plan, then you could easily just purchase them with one click. So we're productizing all of that right now, and that should be out in about 4 weeks. I heard from the engineering team yesterday. So that's almost done. So right now, all agencies are basically on a custom plan, but to basically purchase more attendee days or to track, your balance that you have on your account and all of that stuff, we're just doing that through Google Sheets right now. But that will all be in a nice brand new system within the next month.
Is that the partner stack you're talking about?
So there's going to be Partner Stack, which is there to basically replace First Promoter. So that's more of the commissions and leads to track all of that. And then the actual product itself where you can actually see like your guest day balance, how much is left in your account, what have you spent, all of your invoices, what have you purchased, all of this stuff. That's being productized right now within Remo. So we're building out a new product on Remo as an agency plan itself. And we are also implementing Partner Stack to replace First Promoter. So there's 2 different builds going on. Yeah.
Understood. So you're not actually ready for agency plan right now?
We're running it totally manually. It's just not automated. So we're literally doing everything by hand. Yeah. But in about 4 weeks, we'll have the product itself fully automated. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to share about this? I've been writing down some questions. I'm sure the ladies have questions too. So, but I don't want to interrupt your presentation either. So
no, it's okay. I think that's basically the kind of skeleton of it. But happy to take any and all of your questions. I'm sure that might be a better way of kind of clarifying some of the things that you guys have.
For sure. You said about restrictions. Right now I have no restrictions. And you've already said I can have it to the end of the year. So that's not, so that there's no, so I wasn't anxious to go forward with investing. Like, quite frankly, before you came on board, I spent a lot of time, like a lot of hours helping Hoyen build out his plan, and probably to the tune of maybe 6 weeks of labor. Okay.
Mhm.
It's pretty substantial. And so, and quite frankly, in retrospect, so for me right now to jump into something without being able to see it, there's hesitation, which I'm sure you can understand, right? Because
I think from the UI perspective, everything will be the same. Literally nothing will change. Even when the new product comes out, what is automated is the ability to purchase guest days and the ability to see kind of like your account balance and everything. So what's actually changing is more on the billings page. What is happening to the actual like product itself is pretty much going to be exactly the same as your studio plan, because the studio plan, as you said, is unlimited. It's very hard to improve a plan that's already kind of like fully unlimited and flexible. I think what the key differences are is that in the coming up, we have a number of key features that we're building out specifically for agencies. One is the ability to turn off the chat support, the ability to turn off Q&A, and the ability to turn off the whiteboard and the chat if necessary. So we're building out these features because a lot of agencies have specifically said, like, for specific agendas, for specific events, we don't want people mucking around with the whiteboards. We don't want people to talk to your chat support. We want them to come to us. And so we would like to be able to install our own widget, turn off your own chat support. So those are the kind of like key agency features that we're looking to build out specifically for the agency plan. Now that probably.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say what.
Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, what's the ETA on that?
So that's probably going to be done by the end of the quarter. It's already in progress. It's like on the roadmap to be completed in a couple of sprints time. And our sprints are about 2 weeks long. So yeah.
So it'll be done by Q4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
sorry, just quickly. So I would say right now the plan looks pretty much exactly the same as your studio plan. So even when the new plan comes out in 4 weeks time, it'll look exactly like your studio plan. But down the line, we have a number of these types of features that we're specifically building out for agencies. So another one that has been requested heavily is, for example, you know how like I have the little Remo logo under my avatar on the tables? We'll be building out a specific version where you can customize that to be, to say host, or to say Sue, or to say whatever it is. That should hopefully be done by Q4. I'm pushing to have it done to come out hopefully a bit earlier. But that's, for example, just another feature that we have in the pipeline for the agency plan specifically. So there will be a few differences coming up.
Well, Sam, first of all, I want to say I love some of the features you've mentioned, because quite frankly, last time we talked, I didn't hear any benefit for me to do it. Now I see benefit, but I do have concerns. Now, before I go ahead with my concerns, Danielle, Mary, is there any questions you have?
I'm wondering if the action plan that you guys have set is available to Sue or whoever, just to see what your rollout plans are.
Yeah, so we're actually going to get our head of product, Miles, to speak to all of our agency partners in about 3 weeks' time. So he's actually going to sit down for an hour with all of our agency partners, specifically take in their feedback, as well as kind of showcase a little bit of the vision and strategy that he has planned for the rest of the year. So Miles,
a printed document that's going to be available.
We're going to keep it really kind of tight knit and top secret, because we don't want that to be shown to, like, we don't want that to be publicly shared with, potentially competitors or anyone else. So we're not going to be actually creating a document, but we will be hosting an event so that Miles can talk to agencies face to face and actually deliver that.
So then we don't really know in writing what the upgrades are going to be or what the timelines are for those in writing.
We will not be showing that publicly right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Danielle, any questions? Okay. So Samantha, just in the interest of time, I know we had a late start getting on here. I'm a pretty straight shooter. I'll just tell you what I think. I love that there's now things in there that make sense for me that I like, but they're not there. And what I was trying to say at the beginning is that I bought a lot of things that weren't there, and it cost me huge. And I'm not complaining. I love the platform. I love Remo, and I love the moves that you're making recently. And I some of the moves, I'm going to say, I am a straight shooter. I cannot lie. So, but here's what I'm thinking. You said that there's alignment. You've got 32 on the agency plan, and it's working. What did you mean by that it's working? Tell me, since you signed these people up, who's your high sailor? Who sold the most? And like, what's the average sales people have made? And I ask you this, Samantha, and it's important for you to get the facts, because I do know everybody. But here's why. I was really hopeful when I saw the new website rollout. I thought it was really well done, like a huge step up. But I haven't had the conversion. Now, I do track every lead I send there. I know how much I've sent that to your website. It's not closing. So
that's because you're still on first promoter though, right? Or because you're not on the new agency plan, you're still on the first promoter program. Is that right?
I have my own system though, because really, quite frankly, because the first promoter was so poorly done, I had to create my own system to protect my commission. So I know how many leads I send to you, and I'm not getting the conversion now on the website. So that's why I'm asking you. You said you've got 32 people up there, and that the alignment is working. And so for me, I look at the whole thing and I go, well, the alignment for you must be sales. I mean, that's clearly what your objective is with these new packages. Okay, so I'd like to know who's your, I know you've got the Alexes and you've got the Matthews. That's not me. I didn't, I'll be honest with you, I didn't sign up to sell Remo. I signed up to create experiences. I signed up because I love the platform. So the fact that, so I'm concerned about the sales. So as much as you say, well, I would never be on that package, I don't, like, the commission you pay, even at 35%, isn't really worth my time based on, like, I'm concerned about that, but that's okay. We can just, as far as the commission goes, we can price it based on your costs, right?
I'm just taking a couple of notes. I'm taking a couple of notes just so that I have your meeting notes saved from us, our chat, so that I remember.
We can give you a copy of the video as well, so if you want. But I mean, I guess, whatever you set the pricing at, I'll just set my pricing at it for it. But I'm not really excited about the commission, and my biggest concern is, okay, you say I got to do MMR of 500 at the minimum, right? And I'm concerned because I know how much traffic I've sent your way, and it hasn't converted on its own. And so that tells me that it's going to take time for me to sell. And if I look at my time and what it's worth, and I could sell Remo, or I could sell my consultation services or my speaking services, or any number of things. And really, when I look at the amount of money for the time, the reward isn't really there. I did a schematic to try to figure out the average sale, the average cost for Remo to take somebody and sell them to the end is about 4 hours of my time, even at a low rate, even at my $100 an hour rate, which is, I used to bill it at $250 for consultancy, which is even low on the consultancy stage. But that, if you take $250 times 4, we're talking $1,000 to make it. Cost me $1,000 to make a sale. So I'm not really excited about selling Remo. I mean, I don't mind sharing the wealth, and I don't mind sharing it as people come to me. But here's the thing. I don't know it's going to convert the way I'm doing it, because what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, glad you love this product. We can do the event for you, and all you need to do is buy the subscription. And they're not buying that. They don't want to buy the subscription. So I've got concerns about quota, right? So what happens at the end of this? And so I could go all, and when I met Hoyen, and I said to him I wanted North American distributorship, and I meant it. I fell in love with the product deep, right? But I invested a whole bunch of time in it. And now if I sign up for this plan, or even if I don't, at the end of the year, if I haven't hit quota, according to that document, I'm out. So I look at Mary and Danielle and all the people we're putting together, and I think I'm building something for us. And I'm concerned that I'm leading them up a hill, and when we get to the top, there's going to be this cliff, because there's not the model to sell. So tell me about the alignment.
Can I ask quickly, just on that note, can I ask quickly, like typically, you know, in the past, I'm guessing that all of your clients would just sit on your own account. Is that right?
Well,
Like they would sit on this World Event Center
all
account.
this time, we don't have a ton of clients, to be honest with you. The events that
Okay.
I run are mostly mine. So that's why I'm looking at the agents. That's why everybody else might be saying I'm selling Remo and I'm an agency. I know you look at me as an agency, and I have done a couple events. Most of the events I do as a sponsor. So they're my events.
Got it. So you're not actually like hosting events for like clients and then providing event management services for them. Is that right?
I have done that. And but really, quite frankly, I was prepared to do that. I was ramped up just before you did this agency plan. I had just redone all the verbiage to position myself to do this, because in my mind, First Promoter was fixed. And I was going to go big on it. But as soon as I heard about agency plan, I mean, the website hasn't been changed because I don't know what I'm doing now. But I'll be honest with you, we started diversifying. So now
so I think a couple of things, like the alignment that you know, that has happened is primarily due to the fact that we've built the agency plan for agencies. So I think maybe the misalignment with you is that you're not, as you just self-described, you're not 100% an agency yet, right? So say for example, Alex Abel, he'll sell you know, a $6,000 event, and then the cost that he actually pays to Remo is $500. So he makes $5,500 from like doing and providing the event management services, right? The onboarding for speakers, setting up the event, you know, dealing with the vendor, aka us, all of that stuff. So he like upsells his own services on top of Remo, which is just the foundation level. So what he's doing is not just selling Remo and then, you know, saying good luck, tata, hope you have a great event. You know, he's providing the $5,000 in value to them through event management services. So that's why there's the alignment, because he like is making money on top of the platform. It's not just the commission. Do you know what I mean? The commission is like a great, you know, sprinkles on top of a cake, but the actual cake itself is his event services. So I think the alignment works if you have a product or service that you sell in conjunction with Remo. So event management services, custom floor plans. So like Laura Witten, she sells a bunch of custom floor plans, right? So that's her value add on top of the platform. So she doesn't just sell Remo.
Yeah, but what I heard from you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're right. The alignment is different because I hadn't taken that leap. I was getting ready to do it, but I hadn't. So, but the fact of it is, you told me that at the end of the year, I'm going to be off. I just can't, I won't have my plan. You're discontinuing it, which means I can't even continue as a user. So that kind of puts me in the spot that I have two choices.
You can continue as a user, but it will be at the standard prices. Yeah.
So from my perspective, I think you're pretty clear on how I've been operating and what I was going to do. But my perspective is, Remo's told me they're not going to continue my plan. My plan's being discontinued. I've tried to figure out what does that look like, and I have had zero results. So nobody's got back to me. What am I going to pay if it's just me? Because I understand you've got to stop the bleeding, and it's only fair for you to make more money as I use it more. But the other option is that I sell for Remo, and I'm not 100% sure that that's where I want to go for my business, because if I do that and I sink another year into it, this stuff that you're talking about isn't ready. I can't see it working. And the last time I went in with Remo, all in, that stuff didn't work, and I ended up losing a lot of time trying to fix it. So that's why I've kind of been holding back, thinking, okay, once these systems are in place, and I can see that, hey, your partner stack's working. Hey, I can see your shopping cart. I can see where I can buy, and it's all smooth. I'm not going to have to do what I've done for 25 years, which is UX. I've been fixing other people's problems since '93. And if you talk to Remo, in fact, I can show you logs. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'd like your help, Samantha, because I love Remo. And one way or the other, I would love to continue representing you. And if you go on any of these calls, you'll see Team Canada everywhere. And that's because I push it. When I love something, I push it. But right now, I look at you say 32 people are up and running and they're happy. And I just like to know, what does that look like? What are their sales? maybe it's something I would like to consider, but I don't know. I have to do the math. I have to know. They've had a few months. What does that look like? Number one. Number two, I love the features you've got coming in Q4. That these are features that would really help me sell it. That would they really bring value. So I love that. I'm concerned about the MMR, and if I make this jump, you're like basically the option you're giving me is go on to agency plan, but if you don't sell the quota, you're off. And or the second option is stay on the plan you are, but we're discontinuing at the end of the year and you're off. So you can see why I'm not going all in, right? Because I don't have a win option. I'm being honest. Then you say that you get so many free credits and then you can do your demo account. That's cool. How many credits? That's a lot more advantageous than trying to track it, because to be honest with you, the tracking has been a problem in the past. So I'm a bit gun shy. And then it says partner stack. You say you're 1 week away. I need to see that. I need to see the back end of that. I need to see it working or hear from other people that it's working. Because I had it was painful for me. I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was about 6 weeks of labor. It was at least that of mine. And then as far as selling the enterprise packages and the virtual offices, I love that. I love that there's more stuff to sell, and and that makes it easier to sell as well, right? Because so I love that. There's a lot I love about it, but my biggest thing, or your biggest problem right now, is risk, because Remo's now said, number one, we said we'd never discontinue it. We are. That's a problem for me. Number two, you're giving me two options, and both of them set me up for failure at the end of the year if I don't make it. And I can't have that. I can't leave these two beautiful women. I can't do it. So can you help me with this? Can you look at
just to clarify
this
clarify one point. Just to clarify one point, which is at the end of the year, if you do not hit gold tier status, you get moved down to silver. You don't get booted off.
Okay, what if you won't hit bronze? Because right now, I'm not hitting bronze. Like the way it is right now, the way I'm operating. And right now, just so you know, I am saying, oh, you want to have an event? That's great. And let me actually show you how I'm selling it, okay? Just so that you know, because I have been trying to sell and sold nada. So I'm going to share, sorry, I'm not trying to be confrontational at all. I'm very happy that we're connected.
We are also holding a number of sales and product knowledge training sessions for all of our agencies. I mean, product knowledge you probably won't need, given that you probably know the platform better than me. But we are doing a number of sales trainings, because obviously our sales team do this, day in and day out, and they have specific techniques that do work. So we are running a number of these kind of trainings on a weekly basis for our event agency partners too. I'm so sorry, Sue. I do need to jump off in like 1 minute because I do have another call. But I think in terms of, I understand what you're saying. I understand that, obviously it's risky. Either way is basically what you're saying, because
I basically
if you don't keep it on, if you don't keep the agency plan going, then there's a chance of dropping down tiers. And then if you get booted off your plan at the end of the year, you would have to pay kind of full price, which is what people are paying now. So I get it. I totally understand your point of view. I think
awesome.
I think we've offered a really long head start to a lot of our clients. A lot of our partners, because we understand that there's this fear, so that they have, 6 to 9 months to basically, Alex joined us in May. So he had 7 months to basically ramp up, to basically get moving and to be able to adjust to the new model. So we're definitely not saying like, hey, you've got to make $500 this month, otherwise you're out. It's like, you have to try and hit that by, in a 6-month period. So I think it just matters if you still see this as a business opportunity or not. I understand you said the conversion's not there right now. Perhaps we can jump on another call and I can see your sales pitch just to see if potentially there are ways we can update it to do what the sales team are doing now and to do what works for them in terms of pitching the product. But, I think what it comes down to is, do you still believe in Remo as a business opportunity or not? Because every business opportunity comes with a little bit of risk, right?
Samantha, sorry, can I just jump in for one quick second, because I know you got a jet. just being in business the amount of years that I have been, I do know that with multiple different software platforms, they always offer in the transition period a legacy program. And so for people that worked really hard to help you get things going, they become
Mhm.
legacy clients, and those clients are offered a different sort of opportunity that is more in line with what they originally signed up for. And I would urge you to go back and have a discussion with some of your team members about a legacy program.
So that's what we're doing for all of our legacy clients. We're offering that Head Start period. So there's actually that like 6-month period where they're on the gold tier no matter what. Absolutely no accountability. Just go for it and use the account. So like all of our oldest legacy customers that have joined the agency program are on that Head Start period.
That's
So
actually
it's
not a
not
legacy program. Sorry, that's a Head Start program. That's not a legacy program. A legacy program is for people that have come in at the beginning who are recognized for being there to help you get this platform going. And the special legacy is that they get rewarded for that work that they've done. And so I'm sorry to sound sort of sharp about that, but let's understand that what a legacy program is, it's not an ending program. It's a legacy program. It continues on with the legacy.
Yeah.
That is something that's not been what Hoyan's, I guess, vision is for moving forward, but I can definitely try and bring it up with him again.
Well, if you could talk to him about it from our viewpoint, I think you understand it. It's not that we don't love Remo, and it's not that we'd like to continue, but even though I didn't sign up for the agency plan, as soon as you approached me, I thought about it, and I thought, it's right that they get their mail. I shouldn't be making all this money, and I started selling it. So here's something I'd like to see is you've got a month before you're going to be ready to show me that you've got applications that work. I'd like to see that. And I think a month is not a lot of time, but invite us to the training. I'd like to see how I can sell it better, because I started, as soon as you started talking agency plan, I went to this model where I'm selling my services and I'm selling, plus you have to buy a Remo subscription. And I have not made one sale based on that. So, and keep in mind, so maybe there's a couple things. Let's have a look at that. Have a look at your selling. Maybe that will solve the problem. I just can't. My concern is that I went all in with Remo, and I think I love the product. We all do. But for me to invest another 6 months of all of us going all in to go up to the top of the hill, only to find out that we can't hit the numbers you want and it's not going to work for us, that's not something I'm prepared to do. So there has to be, so get us the training. Let me have a look. Maybe I can up my sales game, and I'm interested in looking at that. I don't mind investing that time to find that out. And by all means, I think you should talk to Hoyan, because I think I was one of his first or second clients. And if you go ask Katrina or Tasneem, you go on these calls, the people that are all in on your product are Team Canada, and they're mine. They came from me. I can help you do a lot more. Now that I've building out a team of amazing people, we can help you build it out. We can help you get what you want. But this deal doesn't.
But Hoyan would like
us, because it's not a legacy plan, and that's what we're looking for. We should. One more thing, Samantha, if you don't mind. I helped you get Samantha, I helped you get you. I helped you get Jared. I helped you get Kimberly. I helped you get Dean. I helped you get a whole bunch of people. And those people are getting the same deal as me. I opened up the market and they're being offered the exact same deal as me. And that's not fair. And Hoyan, if you explain it to him, I think he's got to get it. I can really help him, or I can't. Like, I'm either in or I'm out. And so, I mean, I'll continue to the end of the year, but it would make sense for him to give me a better deal, because I was a better ally to him. Because I went in early, because he said, you get the edge. I'll never discontinue this. And then he discontinued it. And I'm not going to tell him how to run his business. He made his decisions. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if Hoyan wants to grow, it makes sense for him to make a deal that makes sense for us.
I'm so sorry, Sue. I really don't mean to cut you off, but I'm 10 minutes late for my next meeting, so I don't want to be too rude. I will. I'll summarize and like what we talked about, and I'll follow up with a couple of action steps from my end as well, so that you guys are clear on what I'll talk to Hoyen about.
Yeah, sure. Do what you need to do. That's awesome. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye. Yeah. Bye. Okay. Thanks for making the point on the legacy, Mary. I think that was awesome.
And I think that people tend to make up their own. People tend to make up their own definitions as they go along. So it is important for people to realize that, legacies are legacies. They continue on. It's not a time manufactured thing. So you reward the people, and you are loyal to the people, or they will not be loyal to you. And I do think that, Sue, there are so many platforms out there. This is a lovely platform, but there are so many platforms out there that you could become so much more proficient with in the sales features and be able to do what you want to do in your diversification and not have to be loyal to Remo. I mean, I like Remo. I think it's a great platform. I don't have a complaint about it, other than I think it looks a little Mickey Mouse in some of their floor plans. I do. I think they're a little bit too. I think they're a little too cartoonish. Like they haven't come up with their graphics, and I would have made that point had we had more time, and I would have said something about the look of the platform, because I don't think, I think people love it, and I think when you use it, you love it, you fall in love with it, and I think it serves a really fantastic purpose.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people in a much higher level professional capacity, or people wanting to buy office space, right?
Yeah.
You want it to look professional. You don't want it to look like you're coming into a cartoon room.
Yeah, the thing is, that's completely our control, though. Remo does allow you to create any look you want.
Yeah, but their standard templates are very.
Yeah.
And so pick up your game, guys. Like, if you want people in on this affiliate package, an association package, pick up your game, because right now it's kind of lame compared to some of the other ones. Visually, graphically, right? So anyway, that's just my own opinion about that meeting. Was she didn't really get very far with you, which is awesome. I think you held her to the table, and I think you made some really phenomenal key points around. I built the Canadian team, so
I did. That's what, every time you go on a success call, you see, it's clear, the Canadian factor. And I mean,
and for them to not want to release notes about what their upgrades are that are coming, they don't have to be detailed notes. They have to say, hey guys, just so you know, coming up to all of our current partners, this is an internal document.
Yeah.
Or, you are sworn to secrecy on it.
Here's the thing though. Cheating husbands always think their wives are cheating. People with trust issues.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it comes down to. I was up front on the call so that you guys would understand how I feel, because I honestly feel like with the documents the way they are right now, there's a cliff. And one way or the other, there's a cliff. And that's why we've got to diversify. We're going to do that regardless of how they do it. My first platform to recommend is Remo right now, and I'd love it to continue to be that, because I think I like Hoyen as far as I like the way the product's going. I like the whole team. But we have to diversify. We don't have a choice, because, quite frankly, I can't make a decision to go to agency and I can't build out that model that it requires without knowing that the runway doesn't end in 6 months, right? And so it's unfortunate for them. The longer Hoyen takes to make the decision to do the right thing or not, he's losing a salesperson that could continue to help him grow. So that's unfortunate. But they don't have the partner stack ready. They don't have it ready, and they keep saying it's going to be ready, but it's not. They don't have the shopping cart ready. I don't know how many credits they're giving me because they haven't said that. They say they're going to be all these features coming in Q4. Haven't seen them. Love them, but haven't seen them. Miles is going to do this rollout plan, but they won't put it in writing. And then, they're going to pass me leads and show me how to sell them, but there's not a lot of value in me selling them right now. Like I'm pretty good at when I sell, I'm pretty good at, like, I know my close rate. It's not there with Remo. It's not selling the way it is. And so maybe there's an opportunity for me to be better. If we stay on this side, status quo where we are now, we know the cliff is coming because they've told us they'll keep this until the end of December. This training comes up and we learn, maybe I can learn some tricks to sell it better. I don't know. But if I could see the sales, like I'm good at sales. So in this I love our business. So if maybe I just need to learn how to sell it, and I wouldn't be so concerned about falling off the cliff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like their non-transparency. I don't like it.
You don't like your what?
I don't like the non-transparency. I don't like it at all.
No, I know.
You're telling me you have 32 clients who are using the new association plan, then you need to start reporting on what what the close rate is on those 32. And you need to be able to show that in a graphical situation where people don't have to see who the businesses are. But why wouldn't you publish who the businesses are? That's not proprietary information.
Well, I did see on the Remo Revolution, there is a sales board, a leaderboard. And that's why I wanted to see that. I need to see that because, like, it's not questionable that I can sell. I know I can sell. If Alex can sell, I can sell. I just don't see the sales. Like, since they went agency, I've been selling that, and people they're not buying their package.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it.
So have you had a conversation with Alex to see how he likes the agency plan, and is he trusting them? Like,
yeah, so I'm gonna just stop the tape right now because
right.